everyone, I'm Eszter Kovács, co-founder of Drone Talks, and today I am talking with Kara Jones, who is the director of Genius New York. Hi, Kara.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me today.
It's really nice to talk to you, and I just recently learned about Genius New York, I think like a few months ago, which is a shame on me, right? Because that's one of the biggest drone accelerator. So if someone is in the same shoes, what does Genius New York do, and what should we know about the organization?
Yeah, of course. So, like you said, my name's Kara. I'm the director of Genius New York. So, we are the world's largest business accelerator for uncrewed aerial systems and robotics. We invest $3 million into five startups each year. So over the past 6 years, the accelerator has evolved into so much more than just a check for $500,000 or $1 million, though. So in addition to receiving investments, our companies get free workspace out of our tech incubator. We pair our winners with experts and other founders in the industry. We have an amazing pool of executive advisors to help teams. We assist teams in recruiting, marketing, sales support, and have various events and workshops in our local community and beyond. And obviously, we help companies with securing that next round of funding. So Genius New York is funded by New York State's Economic Development Team and located in Syracuse. We're partners with New Air, who manage one of the 7 FAA UAS test sites. And our goal at Genius New York is really to attract and retain companies to our region to continue to grow out the UAS ecosystem and be a world leader in this space.
That sounds very promising, and it seems like you do a lot. So I'm just wondering if a startup, for example, from Switzerland, Drone Talks is a Swiss company, would want to apply. How does this process look like? I guess they go up to your webpage and click the button, or what's the process here?
Yeah, it's really that simple. We've actually invested in 2 teams from Switzerland, actually, Fotokite and Windshape. But our applications open typically in February every year and close in May. So we actually just closed our applications a couple weeks ago. But teams can apply, like you said, right on our website. We ask for basic things in terms of their business case, who their competitors are, why now. We look for viability for the product, service, technology. How large is their addressable market? We look for product market fit. We like to see a strong team and a clear path to revenue in the next 12 months if they're not already there. So since we are funded by New York State, we want to make sure that the teams can really gain access and have an interest in our industry and our region. So can companies thrive in upstate New York, take advantage of the resources, talent, and partners here? Ultimately, at the end of the accelerator, which is a year program, we want teams to stay and continue to grow out their businesses, hire, and contribute to our local economy. So Genius New York started our first year was 2017. So New York State is considered a global leader in the UAS space and a world-leading UAS industry hub along our corridor in central New York and the Mohawk Valley. So our state's working hard to safely integrate drones into the national airspace and enable the next phase of advanced air mobility. So since 2016, our state's been putting an enormous amount of money into this space. I think we're at over 100 million right now. Like I mentioned, New Air is responsible for the advancement of our 50-mile UAS corridor between Rome, New York, and Syracuse. Skydome was recently opened and is an indoor drone testing facility. So with all this tech and innovation, we saw a need to support and attract startups in this space. Hence the creation of Genius New York in 2017. So Genius New York awards the most funding to pre-seed and seed stage startups in the space, and we provide an enormous amount of resources to each team that comes through the accelerator. We now have invested in more than $18 million into 32 companies that span across 8 countries. And we are, truly one of the largest accelerator programs in the world growing this space.
That's pretty impressive. So I was just wondering, what trends do you see currently and how the market or the applications changed during this last couple of years? If I count well, 6 years, right? So what's changed during these 6 years?
A lot has changed, I'll say that. So over the course of 6 years, we've definitely seen more advanced, probably seed Series A companies start to apply. Early on, we saw many early stage teams still developing prototypes in their MVPs, minimum viable products. We've also seen a huge increase in international interest. Over the past 3 years, it's almost 50% now of companies that apply are also international. They want to get to the US market to either manufacture or gain those customers in their markets. And like I mentioned, we have invested in 8 international teams so far. So I think, being in this industry is tough. And if you can make it through the regulatory and legal hurdles, that's huge. Compliance with these regulations can be time consuming. Not to mention developing a UAS platform and hardware is very capital intensive. So teams getting into this space and applying to Genius need to stand out, have that competitive advantage, and have a big market. This year, we saw a lot more companies in the data collection space. A lot of hardware OEM companies applied, mission planning and communication teams within the UAS space as well.
So what's the forecast? How do you forecast the next 15 years based on these 6 years, So what's your view on that?
Yeah. So the next 15 years. So I appreciate 15 years out because it's hard to say, like, what does next year look like? Because there's, a lot of hurdles still. But I'd say in 15 years, I imagine we'll see obviously increased integration in urban air mobility. I suspect that I'll be getting my packages via drone probably to my roof. My daughter Stella, who's now 2, may be able to take an autonomous drone taxi to school. But my hope with that is, longer endurance and extended range capabilities. We'll likely have improvements in battery technology. We're already starting to see more energy efficient drones come out. ChatGPT, AI, and advanced automation will become more autonomous and intelligent and a little scary. But overall, I think the future will be influenced by innovation, market demands, regulatory frameworks, and societal acceptance.
I totally agree with you. I think most of those things you mentioned just around the corner. And I think New York is really one of the leading states in America, in my experience. I went through your webpage, I should admit that, and I spotted that as an accelerator, you are always looking for female leaders within the industry, and you are cherishing diversity, which I was very glad to see. So I'm just wondering regarding the 6 years, how do you see, or maybe during the last couple of years, are there more female-led startups who applied to the accelerator? Doesn't matter one or not, but they are there, or we still need to work on these diversity initiatives, and we still have a lot to do.
Great question. I appreciate the question. I think there's always more work to be done, and I appreciate Drone Talks and other platforms that are coming out supporting women and encouraging that. I think in terms of Genius, that's something we always track. We track female founders, co-founders. We've had a few female co-founders. We're tracking, BIPOC founders, MWBE folks. So it's something we're always working on. I know that you have a great platform. There's another Women in Drone is another good platform we utilize. We're trying to engage more females at the FAA, at NASA, just in the VC world as well, to try and be guest judges, to be mentors to teams. But I do believe, there's more work to be done. I'll say when I went to a conference 7 years ago, it was a lot of men. And when I was in Denver this past AVSS Exponential, I saw a lot more diversity. So it's awesome to see. And I think we all need to just work, have deliberate work to be done in that space.
I agree, but I share your thoughts about the change is happening. I see also the positive changes nowadays within the industry, and I see women are out there and working hand by hand with male leaders as well. So I'm also very positive about this last couple of years changes. Any final remarks, Cara? What you feel important to share with our audience regarding the ecosystem or your program or anything else?
So I just want to give a big shout out to all the teams that applied this year. We had a lot of international teams, a lot of US teams. It was probably one of our most competitive years, and we appreciate your interest in Genius New York and New York State. We're building a world-leading UAS hub here, and there are many avenues to get involved beyond Genius New York. So I welcome anyone that's listening. If you want to learn more and you're serious about growing your company and your business in New York State, please reach out. You can find my contact information on the website. But our advisors have a challenging selection process ahead of them to determine the Cohort 7 finalists. But I'm excited to soon welcome another group of promising startups to Syracuse. Lastly, if anyone is listening and perhaps not a startup, we're always looking and welcoming new mentors, advisors, and guest judges. Eszter, you were a evaluator for us this year. Thank you. So we've really tried to grow our mentor and VC network beyond Syracuse. And I'm happy to say that, it's really grown, and I really, I'm thankful, and I appreciate everyone who continues to support the program. But yeah, thank you for having me today. I appreciate a platform to chat more about Genius New York and what we're doing in New York State.
Sounds very exciting, Cara. And, now you revealed our little secret, I also helped, with 0.001%. Now I'm very excited about that. I was just not sure if I can talk about it, but I'm super happy to talk about it because, when I reviewed the applications, I was shocked of the complexity of the applicants. So just one more question, Cara, before, we close today's discussion. When the winners will be announced, even, I want to know it because I'm very excited, about that.
Of course. So the winners of Cohort 7 will be announced probably the beginning of July. So they're set to start the one-year accelerator program in Syracuse the week of July 11th. So it's very fast and quick. We have a very rigorous, fast due diligence process, but look for a press release coming out to announce our 5 finalists beginning of July 2023.
Amazing. We will share on our platforms.
Thank you.
Because, it's something what is amazing for the ecosystem. And thank you so much, Cara, about sharing more. And
thanks. Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, great talk. Thank you.